Alright, good morning everyone. It is Saturday morning. Today is the 25th of April. So today, I actually have like a shirt and I even threw a necklace on. Okay, the necklace was entirely unintentional. It happened to be with the hair stuff in front of me. So, the reason I have hair things in front of me is because in another couple hours, I'm doing a presentation for a local group. It's going to be a closed presentation, sorry. But the topic's going to be hairnets. So if you don't already know, I do have an ebook out there on my Etsy shop called To Net or Not to Net. It's an expanded version of an article I did in, goodness, was that 2005, 2006, I think? Yeah, somewhere around there. So anyway, the book's over in my Etsy shop. Today's presentation is going to look at images with hairnets and who wore them, things like that. So I was like, all right, what might I need to pull out to go along with that? And of course, I need to grab a couple of my hairnets. And as I was grabbing those out yesterday, last night, usually, okay, I gotta pause. Usually I am a planner. I'm very type A in that sense. I plan ahead. I have backup plans. Some people have heard me say I've planned the backup plan, the rain plan, the backup rain plan, and then it hits the fan plan. And I gotta say, we're all definitely in the fan plan right now. But anyway, I tend to be a big planner, planning ahead. Usually in January, I have things outlined for the whole year, and I'm already in a system to prep for everything I'm going to do. In recent years, it's only been a couple of events here and there throughout the year. At one point, I was doing 13 events from May to October, and then most of the winter was dedicated to Yuletide. So that at that point, I had to plan. I had to know exactly which dresses I needed when, what garments I needed. At that point, I didn't have as strong a footing in the interpretive process. A lot of it was the fun of it and just doing lots of events. That was also at the time when there were more events, a lot of smaller events, and I do love smaller events. But I digress. That's a whole nother topic. So yeah, I'm a big planner, but during this whole thing, it seems to have gone out the window. Okay, I'm not doing the baking, I'm not doing the cooking, I'm not doing a lot of the things folks are doing. I'm down to like plain ordinary straw work. I'm really struggling to decorate a couple pieces I need to decorate. And when it came to putting together my PowerPoint, usually I'm like 60, 80, 100 slides. I could do a whole hour talk. No. I put together, I think it's like 24 slides, give or take. I'll still be able to talk for a while because, this is me. I can talk. If you find a photo of me, I guarantee you half the time my mouth's open because I can't stop talking. But doing the pre-planning it's not clicking. So a lot of what you're getting on the videos is thoughts the night before or things the morning of. The first several actually were planned really in advance because I had started thinking about these videos right around February recess, coming out of February recess. Then I thought, okay, this might be coming. So I was planning those then. And then there's a couple more. I'm trying to keep weather in mind for a couple things. But yeah, there's been so little planning on a lot of this. All right, now that was just like totally off topic. Let me bring this back over here. Okay, so I was pulling out hairnets, and a lot of that, of course, lives with where my hair things are. So I thought, okay, let's talk about some of my my personal favorite hair things. And the necklace was in one of my boxes. goodness, I'm going to say 15 years ago, a bunch of us locally got together and a friend had older cigar boxes, wooden ones, and we turned them all into hair kits. I'll show you. So this is not exactly the most authentic, but it's very functional. So box, opens, hair stuff, and I did like a little cloth organizer-y thing over here. Yeah. To give you an idea timeline-wise, this is pre-Fanciful Utility. I'm thinking 15 years ago. It might be closer to 20 at this point. If you're listening and you know, comment. And if you have yours still. I am thinking, after looking at this last night, in one of the next pieces, maybe we'll do containers on how to carry some of your hair stuff, okay? But for today, we're going to go and look at my favorite hair things. Okay, so let's start with these over here. All right, adjust my camera. All right, so this is rose water, okay? My bottle is almost empty. I really need to get a resupply. I get it from the Genesee Country Museum, but you can get it from the Society of Shakers. Okay, this one. Hey, it's a Lush product. This is rose and lavender together, and it comes in a spray bottle, okay? Now, of course, neither of these are period. These are great to put in your hair. I actually love how my hair feels when using these, and use both of them for modern use, of course. Rose water has so many uses. It's really bothering me that I don't have a bunch of these. All right, so next, these are like spray or sprinkle in the hair and you brush through, okay? To me, it just makes my hair happier, especially before I pomade, okay? So there's a couple different pomades here. This one got lost in my house for the longest time. I was very sad and upset. This one is by Talbots. They are over on Etsy. Well, she's over on Etsy. Okay, and this is my lavender. And you know, I love lavender. This has beeswax, olive oil, sweet almonds, and fragrance. All right, just to give you a look. I was very excited that she has this. Because so many are using coconut oil, and of course I can't use that. This is a very solid and clean feeling pomade, okay? And how you use this is you rub your fingers on it, and then you just work it through your hair. I will put my fingers through the pomade, and then I'll braid, so I'm getting it all the way down through my braids. Okay, so this says one thing on the Lush container. Inside is actually something different. This comes in a little block. You get a cut of it off a big block wrapped in paper. This is called Queen Bee. Okay, this is a little softer than the other, and there's a slightly more greasy feel to it, but it holds really well. Now, I wish I had the list of what these fragrances are. This is a spicier, earthier smell, okay? And to give you an idea of how much was in the block, I still can't close this container. This was, how many ounces? This is 1.5 ounces, okay? I think that's about the same. This might be 1 ounce, okay? So my 1.5 ounce chunk probably was a 2 ounce chunk, and I think I paid about 20 bucks, okay? It lasts a really long time, even without the lid closing. All right, so those are my favorite pomades. I like to pomade my braids, and I like to do some pomade around the front just to keep everything nice and smooth. I don't use a whole lot. I actually have a lot of excess beeswax here, and I really wish I had some almond oil or something here so that I could just like experiment with making my own. But at this point, I think I have beeswax, cooking olive oil, and like a crazy amount of peppermint oil. Not really the fragrance I would want for my pomade. I love peppermint oil. I just don't want to make a huge batch of that. Who knows? Maybe I'll get around to ordering some. All right, so then let's talk hairpins. My go-to hairpins. Oh, these are containers I use at home. My migraine medicine comes in these. So I have an abundance of these guys. They're great for holding random things. I end up sometimes with so many of these, I don't know what to use them for. But they're great for holding hairpins. Okay, so here are 2 different sizes. All right. The longer ones I tend to use if I'm crisscrossing braids. But because my hair isn't super thick, I tend to use these small guys for buns and stuff. And there is another size. Okay, here's a middle size. This is the size I actually use the most, and it's the size I've lost the most. So I need to eventually get some more of these. All right, so these come from an Amish shop. Okay, they're made apparently in Lancaster. I don't get them in Lancaster. I get them on the way down to Penn Yan. Obviously can't do that. I think I've seen them on eBay, not eBay, on Amazon. So if you want to see if you can find those, that's that. Yeah, it's $1.71 is the shop that I buy these at. And there's a dozen of these guys in there. So, those are actually the pins that I've used to make these out of. And these are just a rough rewiring. Okay, I've been trying to experiment with some prettier things. Okay, another similar option to those available at your local Sally's are these. They're not quite as strong as the steel pins. They're a little more flex. These are extremely affordable. They come in a big container, and they do come in black, and then this kind of brown color. Let me put those back up, sorry. This color basically disappears into my hair. And these, if you ever buy my hair kits, the little boxes that I put together around the holiday time, as part of a nice little beginner or a nice little gift set, these are the pins that you get in there. You get some of each. All right, so then we have next container. All right, most of you are familiar with these, I think. These come from Good Days. I'm lucky in that a lot of these things are actually available locally, like really locally. The pharmacy in Caledonia, so you know, Caledonia and Mumford are like, they live together. They're 2 side-by-side little towns. That's where the museum is. But the pharmacy right there has a lot of these there. I don't know if it's just by chance, but they're the things that we can do our period-esque hair with. All right, so these are the modern faux tortoise hairpins. These lock really, really well. If you want to compare what they look like to vintage ones, these are vintage faux tortoise. I love these. If I find these at estate sales or something, I'm going to grab these. I love these. They're still a 20th century piece, but they are wonderful in the hair. And I only have currently 3 of these guys. There's no price on this. I don't know what those cost. These little dudes are like a couple bucks. So that package of like 10, I'm thinking there was like probably $2 or $3 here. All right, these guys don't usually live in here. They live in this box. All right, so that's hair pins. And of course, you're going to want to know about hair nets. Hi, little miss. All right, so this is the type of hair nets I tend to use. They also come from that same pharmacy. This is Milex. So these 3 little guys are $2.29. Pet peeve, I see I'm going to call them settlers because they pretend to be settlers. They portray themselves as settlers rather than merchants. They're supposed to just be merchants. Okay, they're not truly settlers. They're merchants, but they try to play settlers. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I see folks trying to sell these guys for like $5 and $10 a piece. Okay, let's do the math. $2.29 divided by 3. Okay, they're less than $1 a piece. I have a stash of these. Don't let somebody go buy them for $5 or $10 a piece. And I know I just pissed off someone out there, but come on. All right, have a stash of these. I can tell you at events, if I'm doing my big millinery impression, I got a bunch of these, okay? If you're having an emergency, come see me. I'm not going to charge you that much. I might not charge you at all. These are the nets that I've used for these guys. Now, hey, we have a visitor. Clara, you checking things out? Yeah, do you approve? I can tell you, hairnets and cats don't get along. Yeah, can you get down? Let's go back over here, bud. Thank you. All right, so this is one of the nets that I've had stuffed away in the box. So this guy is probably, 15 years old. Still in decent shape. They are that hair color. Yeah, that's not an awful ribbon, but it's definitely not a silk ribbon that I've used. I'm looking over at the next one. So this one is actually one that I did when Dad died. So that gives you some timeline there. Just to go with my morning dress. So nets will last a long time. Another one I'm going to recommend are these. Locally, oh, this is interesting. I didn't notice that before. So this one says made in Germany. This one says made in China. This came from Vidler's, which is a 5 and dime over in the Buffalo area. This one, I think I got this at Milax. I've got to go back and double check that. That's, yeah. So I think this one's older than this one. I don't know. Anyway, I just find it interesting that different places where they're made. But these are also an option. These are what I was using in my hair kits. All right, let's move those over. So we did hairpins, pomades. The elastics I use are just like this. I keep them in a tiny little bag, okay? And these go in the box. I tend to do my hair at home now because I do most of my things primarily at the museum. Oh, I know what I needed to grab. Let me grab these. All right, so another thing I've been wanting to do, hair related, is to make some pretty combs. So, Danielle went on a little hunt for me. All right, so these are my original combs, okay? It's the pair. These have some weight to them, okay? And the weight is in the beads at the top, all right? I think we had decided the bottoms are a horn, and then these tops are jet, okay? And there's no holes all the way through the jet glass. There's holes at the bottoms that go into posts on these. So what I want to do is take these guys, this is just for me personally, and add the beads. So if I put these guys side by side, decently close, and that has a good base there. This was like, I ordered these from her, I think that was in February. We were talking about these, and if things hadn't gone awry, I think I'd have these done by now. I had ordered the combs, but never got as far as getting the beads ordered. And I noticed yesterday the person I wanted to order beads from, there's only like one small set left. I'm like, no! So I gotta decide what I'm gonna do there. Because I want original beads, or I want antique beads, because I think they're going to be lighter weight than the others. And then these also came from Danielle, so I can play with a couple of these. I think this guy's going to get beaded and this guy's going to not, and they are to keep me from wearing the originals. I do have one or two original, I think it's a horn and then a gutta percha comb, and I'm trying right now to remember where I put those. I think they're in with my jewelry. Here's a fun fact, I never unpacked my jewelry box. Boxes. That's all still in a box. That gives you a suggestion in Anna's mental state over the last year and a half. Yeah. The only jewelry that's out is reenacting jewelry. So, anyway, I'm going to work on those at some point. Goodness, okay, so I'm like, oh, I can talk for 10 minutes about hair thingies. Looks like I talked a little bit longer. So I'm going to go get this uploaded for you today. Give me a yes or a no if you want to talk either tomorrow or Tuesday about containers for hair things. I can show you different options, and maybe we'll get to the point where we want to make one. Let me know. Enjoy your Saturday, folks, okay? Bye-bye.